Hello and welcome to Infamous, the audio podcast. This is Brandon or Mutilus on Discord.
This is Parker, go by One Who Parks on Discord.
This is Jeremy. I go by Terrible MCP Player on Discord and at Adepticon.
And this is Aaron. I go by Treffenwood on Discord.
Okay. Well, if you haven't noticed, you clearly don't listen. So we're back from Adepticon. Some quick announcements. Parker is down to 3,690 probationary episodes. And stay tuned later if you like the probationary episodes for Parker, because we have some notes. Moving on. I just want to take a moment. Obviously, I'm sure you guys are going to jump in here as well. Meeting people who listen to the podcast at these conventions is always super fun. So if you came up and said hi to us at all, shout out to you guys. I'm not going to name anyone specific. Everyone knows who they are, but thanks for coming up and saying hi. Let us know that people actually listen to this thing, and it's not just us screaming at a wall. But thanks for coming up and saying hi. We had a good time hanging out with you guys, and nobody else returned the feeling. Okay, we're moving on.
No, I was actually trying to find. I was actually going to say. I was immediately going to contradict you and name a name because I met one fan at the con who was just awesome. We got to spend a lot of time together. He was kind of my timelines friend because you guys all left me to go play other games. And I just want to shout out Jake Barrett, who is just an awesome person. And he came there, and not only did he, was my timelines friend, and we got to check base and have a good time, but he also indulged me in a timelines prep of game one night, which was super fun. And he just had an awesome spirit of the game, and he brought me a Professor X, and so he painted a Professor X for me, which is just super cool. So my Professor X that I'm going to be playing in my next list, I'm determined my next list will be Uncanny X-Men, will have his Professor X in it, and I'm really excited. So fans are painting stuff, which is super cool. Great. It was just awesome to see the support of the cast, and lots of people, like you said, Brandon, come up and tap me on the shoulder or just want to shake the hand, and that was awesome to see how many people were loving what we do here late at night. So makes it feel really good that we keep doing it.
Well, I guess we're naming names. I want to say hi to Mo, our original fan, first listener ever. Mo tracks us down at most cons, which is great. We like seeing him. He's playing X-Wing, I think, right now, but he also plays MCP. But there's a bunch of other people as well that didn't spend as much time with us that we got to see, which is great.
Pretty certain everybody who played me and then beat me was happy to have known me on the cast before. I enjoyed the games we had. They knew who I was, and they took the initiative to not only greet me with a handshake, but also an ass whooping. So thank you for that. Amazing.
See, I think the problem is we've given away too many of our trade secrets, or specifically you have. And so every time you play someone who listens, they just they know your strategies, and so they know how to not fall into those traps.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say.
We'll go with that. I was just trying to give you a graceful landing. Yeah,
perfect.
They're such good fans that they've done their market research and they knew precisely how to outmaneuver you. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm. So last week I may have said some things about a particular location in the United States that I just want to address real quick. So I don't know if you guys remember. I may have said that I dislike a particular city in Colorado. I mean, nobody told me I was wrong at Adepticon. In fact, most people agreed with me. But I do want to say I was probably too harsh, because talking about it over the weekend, we brought up Cas Bonitas. And I just want to say, it's Cas Bonitas alone probably drags the rotting carcass of Denver, Colorado from a 1 to a 3. So I was a little too harsh. I want to dial that back a little bit. Still hate it, but it's definitely interested in going back for the Cas Bonitas. Now, on the flip side, nobody else called out a particular city. However, Parker, Jeremy, and Aaron all have a collective hatred of Portillo's. And I don't understand. Everyone else that goes there loves it. I don't understand why you guys hate good food.
I'm not sure who this everyone else is. It reminds me of when my ex-wife used to say things like, always, never, every time. I disagree. I think it's trash, and I think that's what most people think.
All right, I guess we'll just have to agree to disagree.
No, you're
Portillo's
wrong,
is where you go if you want to eat carnival food inside. That's what it's for. And so if you really, really like that, then I think, you
Parker,
go for
I think
that.
you're just
But
jealous that if you were to eat a funnel cake, you would implode and turn inside out.
I'm not going to go ahead and say it's completely impossible to have some jealousy for that. That's not. It's when I see people eat. When I see people eat a street taco, I go, man, that sounds cool. Like, I know I can't do it, but
I just know that it'd be like me eating a cinder block. It's like there'd be no point. I would die instantly.
Mm-hmm.
Every single time I went to that place, I would ask, so what should I get? And they would go, oh, the beef sandwich, amazing. Make sure you get it like this. And I would get it, and I would go, yep, this is shit. It's just a fucking pile of juice and meat and slop. Oh, you should get the sausage and peppers. Oh, this is also shit. I don't want to eat this either. Like, there's so many wonderful places.
Have you considered ordering food that you like, not food that other random people seem
There's
to like?
nothing that... When you look at the menu and go, this is... And you're exactly right, Parker. It's fucking carnival garbage. I'm like, This looks like a fucking cartoon show menu. I don't want any of this. Ugh.
I'm reminded of the show, The IT Crowd, when he's like, you should go to... what was it? It's a Messy Joe's, and it's Messy Joe's. It's like an American, like, Sloppy Joe restaurant in London. And they go there for a date because it's recommended by their idiot friend who calls it Messy Joe's. And he doesn't know that it's for kids. He just loves it. Anyway, I took multiple people there that had never been to Portillo's before. Everybody very much enjoyed it and said they wanted to go back. And so the first person I took wanted to go back with me the next time I went. And then the other person was like, yeah, I don't know why these crazy people keep downing this restaurant. It's great.
Well, you managed to convince a lot of people that shitty movies are good. So you're Pied Piper of fucking simpletons. Fuck.
Oh, boy. I'm gonna have to put that on a shirt now.
Pied Piper of
simpletons. That is a really effective shirt. Yeah.
It's very strong.
Yeah.
Oh, where's our t-shirt? Here we go. Anyway, so in short, Brandon hates Denver. Everyone else hates Chicago. I don't know why. It's weird. I love Chicago.
Did not say that.
Chicago is a place where dreams come true.
I'm going to tell you something.
Yeah.
And I hope that you guys know this. You can order Lou Malnati's frozen deep dish pizza online and get it delivered to your house, and you get Lou Malnati's in Kansas City.
Oh.
Did you guys know this?
Did not.
Yeah.
Did you also know that you can order Portillo's online and have it shipped to you frozen?
Yeah, it's called a carnival. You just go down the street.
Well, I mean, you just use a giant ice scoop and scoop out trash and put it in a fucking bag and freeze it.
I don't get it. I don't know why you guys hate this place.
Speaking
Speaking
of awesome, interesting things that happened at restaurants, Aaron, you want to discuss Kuma's?
Oh, no, hold on. You took Aaron to Kuma's?
It was an accident.
Did you want to get stabbed repeatedly?
Why
would you take a guy with tinnitus to a fucking metal restaurant?
Dude, it's
that
been
doesn't
20
even
years.
make sense.
I haven't been there 20 years. I didn't remember.
They haven't been around 20 years. What are you talking about? It's only 10 years old.
It's been a while.
Jeremy's inventing years.
But that's what happens when you get old.
Anyway. Yeah, so I'm sorry, Aaron. That was an obvious no-go.
We left.
I would have told you.
Oh, yeah, we left.
We left.
Okay. I assume you got up there and was like, man, that music's quite loud. Then you opened the door and you said, nope, and just walked away from the building.
Well,
I walked in, I walked out, and then I walked back in to tell Jeremy I was leaving.
Well,
wow.
Now, to be fair,
to
we went. It was really loud outside, and I was like, well, I'm going to go inside and see what's going on with that. And it was super loud, and then I immediately was like, let's go, Aaron. And this was Aaron, England, and we grabbed everyone else and we're like, let's go. We're going. Like, I could tell, like, this wasn't going to work. And plus, I like to be able to talk to people, and you can't do it there. I just didn't remember it that way.
Yeah. All right. So moving past food section, I think we've got some news.
We have so much news.
Hey, news! News!
So our news today comes straight from the convention. I got to attend my very first reveal, which was super cool. I never actually got to go to one. I always just looked at screenshots. I can say now, after having gone to one, that you're not missing much. That foggy screen that you're looking at is all I got to see. Also,
it's not lost by camera quality. It is in fact just hard to see.
It was cool to congratulate the sculptors and to talk hear them in person, and that was really fun to do once. But if you were like, I really want to know the spoilers for the game, it's really hard to see those presentations.
It's better to just look at the pictures later because you can't read the cards fast enough because they're only on the screen for 10 seconds.
What screen? They're on a wall, and
they're on a projector.
Yeah, on the projector screen, and on that wall, it's really hard. It's from your seat. There's no way to do it. Maybe somebody with a powerful camera or superb vision in the front row might be able to see it, but it's
I've been to a lot of keynotes, and it is usually better to just look at it online.
Yeah.
Now it is fun to be there with the devs when they're announcing the things they've been working on for a long time because they're very excited.
Yeah. That was really fun, and so it was fun to be there on the inside of their conversation. That was excellent. So we know some cards and some guys. Are we going to talk about each guy? Is that what we're excited to do?
No, we're just going to mention because this has been out for a week at this point, so we assume everybody's read all the cards. If you haven't, go to our Discord channel to MCP News, and there's pictures of everything up there. There's pictures of the timeline that's posted, so we're just going to kind of touch on each thing by just mentioning it.
Okay. So the very first thing that got spoiled up was Scarlet Spider. My hot take, and I'll go first, is that just like every other spider person that ever gets spoiled, I'm like, oh cool, another collection of all the spider abilities that they make. I'm not mad that he has that, but it just is, another spider person with spider senses and some throwing effects and
yeah, I mean they have the same powers, so it makes sense that they have the same powers.
But he is a 4-threat, quasi-fighting spider person. A little bit slower than the other spiders, but otherwise. Venomized. A lot of people are excited about Venomized, the tactics card that came on the same page, mostly because it's another one of these cards that allows you to buff a character during a game. It gives you the attack We Are Venom, which is Venom's Spender, 7 dice, range 3 cost, but it lowers your energy defense by 2.
We're not going to read all the stuff. We're just going to talk about it.
Okay. What are you guys excited about Venomized? A lot of the internet is abuzz about it.
Are they excited? Everything I've heard has been negative.
Everything you said at the con was negative, but no, I have heard some positive things about it.
Everything Brandon said was negative. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Following.
I mean, put it on Hulk, wait for him to get hurt, roll fucking 11 dice, and then heal 10. Yeah, what's not to love?
Yeah, Hulk seemed like a really cool option. I think even folks like Doctor Strange, or anybody can get 3 power to just play it turn 1. This Sexy Strange, I'm thinking of. Also, all your reroll characters like Nebula and Zemo, Wolverine. Wolverine already has a mechanic where he heals, but maybe double mechanics that he heals. That sounds cool. Thought about Logan Wolverine, not regular, but anybody who lets you reroll the attack dice. We all know Venom is hard to kill, but what if Venom could also reroll all his dice for some reason? That seems good.
So you think that you would give up an action on Hulk on the first turn to play it?
An action on Hulk on the first turn to play it?
Well, you said just play it on the first turn. It costs an action to play the card.
You could. Yeah, that would be something you could do if you wanted to try to save it. I think you can play if you had a hammer, for example, to pick up on the back point and all he was going to do is pick it up and move, then that's a way to play it. Just there are options.
Well, that's 4 power then.
Right, you're giving him a power somehow, or you're playing him in Steve Avengers. Oh, not Steve Avengers. You're playing him in Mystique. I don't know. You're doing something.
Sure.
Like you're doing something kitschy with it. I'm not saying it's a great card. I'm just saying there are things to do with it.
I think playing it with Hulk is cute. His actions are pretty premium, though. It's interesting. Yeah, I don't know that it's great, but it is interesting that it's not restricted in the way a lot of the other cards are, like Scientific Method. All right, what's next?
Next thing you got was Sandman. What do you guys think of Sandman?
I refuse to comment on a character until I see the back of their card.
Sounds like a moral stance, less a pragmatic one, just kind of a.
Am I allowed to have a moral stance? Is that acceptable?
Yeah. Yes.
I stand by it then.
Okay.
I feel like I was burned by all the characters that came out last year at this event, and some of them still are not released. I'm just like, whatever, dude. Once they show up, I will look at their cards.
We did get a release schedule. That was part of the news, actually.
Oh, neat.
Are you? So are you, Jeremy? You have no confidence in the release schedule. That's what you're saying.
What I'm saying is, I've decided that when I open the box, I will then look at the cards. Pretty much.
Yeah, I'm more interested in who's coming out than what they do.
Yeah.
Like, until they're part of the game. I really hate playing advanced stuff, so I don't really pay too much attention to that. I do want to say, though, like, I don't think they ever intended for this to happen, which was models in the previous keynote were still not out at the next keynote, but the whole core set pushed everything back dramatically, so I think they were all supposed to be out fourth quarter, but now they ended up being out, like, second quarter of this year.
Do you think he changes anything?
Parker. I have not gone. I honestly haven't even read what the constructs do. I'm reading it now.
I was actually saying, I think I really like the Sandman. I think he's a cool character. I think they did a good job with these the sand constructs. I'm a little nervous to see him in not spider foes. I haven't gone down deep, kind of like you guys, without seeing the back of his card, without seeing the rest of the box. I haven't really determined what I'm going to do. But of the two, him and Vulture, of the two, he's by far, I think, the most ubiquitous. He has a lot of things he could do in lots of different affiliations. I don't think you'll see him in just spider foes or criminals. In criminals, he is good. That is, I think there's no doubt of that, just because of the healing stuff he does. He has a lot of self-healing, and the constructs heal him, and the constructs provide defensive bonuses. So I think there's going to be, for your standard Kingpin list, he's one more guy that doesn't die very hard, which is excellent. They love that. And for other lists, any list that's going to want a model that sticks around for a long time, I think they're going to appreciate him.
So of all of the reveals, the teasers, what one model are you each most excited about?
Apocalypse. I'll call him now. I like big
Any
models
reason?
that do big things.
Okay.
Elsa Bloodstone, not even close. I have waited for her to come out. I love her so much. I don't care what she does. I will buy all the models that like her and that she likes, so that I can play Elsa Bloodstone at her absolute peak. I'm so excited for Elsa Bloodstone.
Yeah. All right. I also think Apocalypse. Dracula's probably a close second, just because they seem interesting. I like the concept that you can select who your horsemen are. We've obviously all talked about like cool things they could do with it. It sounds like they went into one of the more cool routes, so I'm excited to see all those mechanics.
So I have a really wild idea for what I want them to do, but they probably won't do it. Similar to the scientific method, where you are able to give someone an ability. What if like this person has -1 energy defense but gains 2 dice, or whatever the case is, and that's the Horseman X. Pestilence does something else, and you have to choose one model to get the ability, which has a plus and a minus to it. So anyway, I'm also excited, but given the history of what they can release, I'm also very tempered in that excitement. My model is Man-Thing.
Wow, so you guys chose the same page. What is it about Man-Thing that excites you?
I think the render looks pretty cool, and I like painting things more than I like painting people.
What about the sand constructs?
Not nearly as exciting, but I can understand why you might think so.
Okay.
I'm not unexcited to paint the sand constructs, but it's sand.
Fair.
I can tell you which character I'm least excited about based on this.
Ooh, okay.
I do not like Black Panther Chosen of Vast, and it's not because he's the third Black Panther. It's actually because I think he's not broken, but he's one of those super ubiquitous models that I think is going to show up in a lot of places. That guy, I don't care what's on his backside right now. I think we're going to see him a lot. If there wasn't Black Cat in the game, I think this would be the character that gets splashed like Black Hat, because man, he does everything you want a generic like scenario piece to do. But I am. So some people would be the opposite and be super excited about that, but I don't like characters that are obviously beyond the curve, and so people go, "Oh, that one's beyond the curve, so click that." But he is definitely that.
Sure.
Oh, he's only 3 points?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a 3-point. Like his stuff is his stuff. All of his stuff belongs on 4-pointers. It's
Hmm.
The only thing he's missing is the long movement. If he had long movement, he would be way over the top. But
Does he finally allow me to make my 10 model list with the word black in the title?
gets close. Maybe.
I'm gonna say it's pretty goddamn close, I think.
I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure there's already at least 10. There's 3 fucking Black Widows.
That's true.
Bolt, Cat, Dwarf, Panther, 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 Swan,
8.
Widow.
There's 8 right now.
That's 10.
There's,
no, that's
I'm
10.
counting 8. 1, 2, 3,
He just said 10.
6, 8. I'm counting 8 twice.
There's 6 just from Black Panther and Black Widow. So you're saying there's only 2 others? Because I got Cat, Dwarf, Swan,
Bolt.
Bolt. There's 10. Stop reading the page.
Finally, I can play my list.
Right, Parker, you following me? So there's 3 Panthers, 3 Widows.
Mm-hmm.
Bolt, Cat.
Oh, I see why.
Swan.
Because I'm looking at the alphabetical list and the Black Widow's not there because the Black Widow's somewhere else.
No, that's not required. I just need the word black in the title.
Mm-hmm.
So
Black
does
Bolt.
Black Bolt count for 2 of them then?
I was literally saying that. Black Bolt counts as 2. Black and are both gone.
Perfect.
Okay.
Well, Black Dwarf's name is Black Dwarf. And Black Swan's name is Black Swan.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. We good with news?
Is there anything we haven't talked about yet?
We didn't talk about Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
He seems
I
pretty
mean,
cool.
I think we're assuming people have read through these, so it's more just talking about what we're excited about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for the Dracula stuff, the monster things. They having super tropey superheroes in the game might be fun. But also just like the whole supernatural side of the game is kind of interesting, so having more of those would be cool.
I hate to agree with you, but I do.
I actually like that there are Defenders cards that say Defenders on them that don't cast a portal by 2 characters in the game. That just made me happy as a person who likes playing Defenders and just never got to play a tactics card that said their name on it. I love it. I also am really excited for Maverick. He's one of my favorite D-list superheroes in the Marvel Universe, and so I'll be finding a reason to play him. I'll probably end up playing Weapon X just to play him in his affiliation, but I'm excited about that.
So what is Maverick?
Maverick was a member of the Weapon X program. He was a Canadian mutant super soldier. His mutant ability is that he absorbs kinetic energy, which is a lot of mutants' abilities, but his specifically isn't super. It is quasi useful, of course, in combat. So if he gets hit by a bullet, he doesn't make the bullet stop, but he absorbs a lot of the kinetic energy, so it fails to penetrate, basically. It also, he couldn't in some versions of him and earlier versions of him, he could just absorb the kinetic energy and just kind of dissipate it, so it was hard to hurt him with kinetic weapons. But later versions, he could redirect it and hurt people, get a powerful punch, right?
Kind of like Sebastian Shaw. But
Yeah,
not
kind
as
of.
strong.
Yeah, basically kind of like that. So his specifically kinetic absorption in the modern version of him, I think his mutant powers have been tampered with, or they've been modified, and so they're almost non-existent. But he is a mutant. He's a mercenary type guy. He goes around the highest bidder, and he's been a Wolverine compatriot many, many times. They go back way back to the days when they were fighting together, and helped each other out of the Band of Brothers thing, right? They see each other as compatriots, and they help each other out of jams.
From what I understand, all Canadians know each other.
It's pretty true.
They hang out, they do things together, they fight fights. Got it.
Speaking of fighting fights, in the most recent Muse on Marvel podcast, they had a listener question segment, and someone asked them to critique the other podcasts around the world.
And
And
they had nothing to say about us because
They
we're perfect.
did. So they opened a giant beef locker and told each other podcast why they're dog shit. I won't ruin it for anyone. You're going to have to go listen to Muse on Marvel. But they got to us and drew a blank. So thanks, guys.
Oh, so they didn't have anything to say about us?
No, we were chef's kiss, cherry on top.
Yeah.
We're just too.
Well, here's
we're
all
within
things I think
driving
they
distance.
could do better. Yeah.
We're within driving distance. It's like one of those Jay and Silent Bob 2 things where
Yeah.
that's it. We're going to go beat their asses.
Well, I don't have anything. I don't know if Jeremy's on board, but I don't think we've lost a game to the Des Moines crew in a while.
Yeah, not even I have.
Oh, wait.
Shh.
Cool. Good to see that Nigel's still stirring the pot. That's one thing he's really good at.
That and facts. Pure facts.
Would you call the things he says facts?
No.
No? Okay. Alrighty. Well, moving on, let's get into the Adepticon. So, starting with Thursday, which was the first official day of the con, what was everybody doing? I was hanging out watching people play Marvel and trying to desperately track down people I'd never seen before. That proved slightly challenging, not knowing what somebody's real name is or what they look like. Is interesting strategy. I did find them, though, so that worked out. Aaron, what did you do Thursday?
Thursday, I did the Adepticon 2024 Challenger event.
Nice. How was your day?
It went better than expected. Do you want me to give you a quick recap of the rounds, or just tell you I went 4-0 and continue?
The record's nice. Do you have any fun anecdotes from your games?
Always.
Anything important that happened?
No. Honestly, it was just a bunch of games of Marvel. Played Hellfire.
Oh, well, that's why.
Yeah.
Fucking the gross ass molasses of gaming. Oh, look, I just kind of sit here.
The tree stump of lists.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there were a lot of good games, and as, of course, you progress through the Challenger event at an undefeated state, the games get increasingly harder. It doesn't matter what the fuck you're playing. So, I mean, games 2, 3, and 4 were freaking baller. Played against Pat Van Value from Taco Truck, and then Spell Shock from Des Moines, and then Corey from, I believe it's Nashville, who's a top-rated Spider Hose player on Longshanks, for whatever that's worth. So those were 3 really good games that were really fun to play. But at the end of the day, I managed to be one of these 6 undefeated and make it into the Top Quest round on Friday.
Cool. All right, Jeremy, how was your day one?
Oof. Well, there needs to be antithesis of what Aaron's day was like. I crashed face first into a player playing Asgard. Like we've said before, at least I've said before, my list plays very fair. It just fights you. It's hard to fight when you're fighting something that just heals. So he just kind of healed himself. I lost the game. Don't know that it was even that close. The second game I played, it was a pay-to-flip disaster. It was like one of those games that you talk about for a long time where you couldn't flip anything. People aren't standing on it, nothing. Just can't flip anything, can't get any points. It was just really brutal. So I lost 2 games in a row. My heart certainly wasn't in anything anymore. I played my third game against this gentleman who then offered me apple pie moonshine.
It was a quart. 1 quart of moonshine.
It was a quart of moonshine, and then followed that with, I just want to win a game with Sentinels this weekend, and it will make me happy. So I said, partner, saddle up. I'm your Huckleberry. I ran straight at him. We fought and fought and fought. I didn't give him the game necessarily. I just ran straight at him. So he was able to do the exploding Sentinels. So that was cool to see. I let him basically use every tactics card he had. And it just, I got blowed up and he took the game down. But I was also half drunk on moonshine at that point, feeling no pain. I walked over and then dropped. So that was my champion's experience. Go champion.
Now, when you say you dropped, clearly that means you just collapsed in the middle of the vendor hall, right?
No. So that's the
Oh.
thing about being an old veteran of cons. Once my heart kind of turns off for the game at that time, I will not drag myself through anymore. So I pulled myself from it. I just knew, like, I just wasn't feeling it. Just went over, dropped, went and walked around Vendor Hall, got to see a bunch of people and talk and just hang out and relax the rest of the evening. So it's all good.
I think there's a lot of people that force themselves to keep playing when their heart's not in it. And, if you're kind of overplaying games for the day, just go have a good time. I mean, you're at a convention. It's basically a vacation. So,
Yep. No one gives a shit,
the
honestly.
Goals to have fun. And so you knew how to do that.
Yep.
Okay, so we budgeted about 38 minutes for Parker to talk about his next two games. So, Parker, how was your Thursday?
I played in the Challenger event. Like Aaron, I also went 4-0. Probably the biggest thing to pull out of it is that somehow, like Aaron, I went 4-0 and didn't play against Aaron. We dodged each other the entire time, which kind of blew me away. There were a lot of players.
About the only two
possible.
Kansas City people that dodged each other.
No,
Seemed like everybody I knew was playing people I knew.
Okay,
all
so
day.
that brings me to my very first round, which I had to play against a local. My very first round was against a local, Ryan Jarvis, who was an awesome sport. As soon as he saw it, he just immediately exclaimed, "Yeah, damn it!" He was very upset. he was very upset that he had to play against me in the first round. He and I play a lot on game nights, and he was one of the person who helped me kind of forge my Avengers list into what it is. And so he knew precisely what it did and how he was going to struggle against it. He tried, it didn't work, and so we shook hands, and I apologized for his poor luck. But that Avengers list, the story of that, the rest, he was my one person the whole day who knew a lot about the list, and that was kind of the story of the day. Is people were going, battle box models, what do those do? Like, I haven't seen those for 4 or 5 years. I didn't know what they do, and so it was a lot of that repeating itself. I did get my round 3 was a really, really good game, a really hard game against a great Web Warriors player, Matt Alex. It was very, very close. It came down to the very end. I had to be very smart, but all my rerolls didn't fail me, and so yeah, it was mostly just characters discovering what my little death trap of Cable Zemo cap feels like and does, and so then I was able to go 4-0 that day.
Cool. Congratulations. So this leaves Aaron and Parker in Top Cuts. Mm-hmm. We had to spend no less than 6 hours convincing Aaron not to drop so that he could play in Timeline.
No, you want to play the team
tournament.
I wanted to drop and play teams.
Yeah.
The only problem was my teammate also made Top Cut, so I didn't have a teammate. And no, in hindsight, I still would have dropped and played teams.
Nice. Well, that leaves us with after hours party time. Let's see. I think today was the day that we went to the tavern, right? Pretty sure that's right.
This is the day that Ryan had to pay for everyone.
Ryan
bought everybody dinner.
The bill.
Not only did he pay into the first round against me, but then he paid again at the end of the night. God bless you, Ryan.
Turns out when you're out with like 12 people to dinner, you should not let the server give you the ticket for the whole table by accident. And by accident, I mean, don't allow the server to gouge you. Anyway, we had a good time there. Next day is Friday. First day of Judgment. So I, over the course of Friday, ran into Wonky. It's Wonky Kong, right?
That's his handle, yes.
Okay, Wonky Kong on Discord. He was organizing the Judgment tournaments, and so I got with him. We gave him the Judgment train we had brought for the event. I set up some cameras, and I videoed a bunch of their 3 versus 3 games, and then mostly hung out in the vendor hall, or not the vendor hall, but in the Judgment hall with them, and then frantically ran back and forth between the 2 halls to play in the MCP Teams tournament with Kenny. We had some fun games. We played against the people who won the tournament in the first round. I'll let you guess how that went. We had two good games we had two great games, honestly, that were really close. And then we had one game where we were playing Kingpin Criminals, and our opponents really just didn't know what the power of that was. They had not played against Kingpin Criminals before. And of course, then we pull a D and Legacy Virus. And so I think we ended up winning the game like 23-5 or something. It was complete blowout for scenario. But that was mostly due to the fact that we had 3 Steelers on our team, which, please AMG, nerf Steelers, dear God, it's not balanced. And we were also able to assemble the cube, and so it was really dumb. But our other 3 games were all really tight, close games that could have gone either way. But that was my Friday. Aaron, how was your Friday?
My Friday was good. Top Cuts game, I got paired into my man crush, and by that I mean my MCP man crush, Nate Horn. He doesn't know that, but he didn't listen to the cast anyway, so we'll be okay. He's part of the Taco Truck guys. I just really think his sense of the game and perception and overall being a great guy is just on point. So our second game, we played at LVO the first time around, and I beat him there, and history repeated. I was able to take down his X-Men with Hellfire on Extremis. It was a really interesting game. We just rotated our people away from Steelers. I just put both of my people. It was just an interesting game. I just rotated, and he rotated, and we counter-rotated, and I got a key daze on a turn, and it gave me the advantage, and I ended up winning by 2. It was the third consecutive game in which I played against Ultron 2, so he is everywhere. I think he's honestly a little overhyped. I don't think he's bad in any way, shape, or form, but clearly not an unbeatable nightmare outside of some timelines issues where you might not have some tools you need. Second game, into the semifinals against Vincent Kirchhoff. So this is the third of the Taco Truck crew that I get to play on the weekend. Pat, day 1, and then Nate and Vince, day 2. Into his shield list, I opted for a radical Hellfire deployment and left Cat and Rhino at home because we're playing on Montesi, and I have Prio. So I didn't want a bunch of Steelers. He was only going to have one sitting potentially on his back point next to other people. I figured robbery was going to be quasi-useless. What I didn't count on him doing was killing Dynamo with 2 5-dice builders and getting the extract anyway. And I think that flipped the game so hard. I really wasn't able to come back from it. I definitely made some mistakes. Ended up losing by 2. Cool. We played for 3rd and 4th place, but I'll let Parker talk about that game later. That was my Friday.
Cool. Jeremy, what did you do on Friday?
On Friday, I went ahead and didn't play in the, what do you call it? The thing you were just talking about.
Team tournament.
The team tournament.
No, the other one.
With 3s.
No.
The Judgment 3s.
The Top Cut.
The Top Cut, yeah. I opted out of
You
Top
did-
Cut.
You opted out. Oh,
I
I
opted
see
out of
what
Top
you're
Cut.
saying. Yeah. Opted
with
out of COC Top Cut.
with your play on Thursday. Okay, got it.
No, you did that on
Yeah.
Thursday, not on Friday.
Yeah, on Thursday I opted out. So I wanted to find some new friends because all of my MCP friends, I don't like you anymore. You're out. You're out, and these new guys are in. Yeah, so again, like I said, I go to cons. I'm going to cons to do what I want, have fun, whatever, and I don't force myself into anything. So I thought, okay, just to kind of change the vibe, I played some Judgment, played some threes, which is the smaller mat. Had a bunch of great games, learned a bunch of cool shit from people who've been playing a lot longer than me, and had a great time. I'm not going to go into detail because that's not this cast.
Oof, rough. Alrighty, Parker, how was your Friday?
So I get to play in the Top Cuts. I was just thrilled to play some more games. The first round was against Michael Jansen, and I had not got to play him before, but I was warned that he was a really great Web Warriors player. So we played on stream, and I didn't realize how much stuff I bring with me to tournaments is not the AMG stuff, and you have to play with official AMG stuff. And so that really slowed down the start of our game as we were trying to transition all of my stuff into AMG stuff. And I think it took a lot of time out of the round. And I was, it's honestly, the game that my heart goes out for the most for my opponent, because we were playing just a really tight game, and we were really looking at how the game state changed, and I was paying really close attention at the early, not to make a mistake against a really great Web Warrior player, because I felt like at any moment he was just going to capitalize and I was going to lose. So it was a really great back and forth, but it came back to me. I believe it was we got through round 3, and that was the last round we get to with time, and time was called, and I had a really good round 3 because he had a really great round 2, and I cracked back well. So it was just kind of a shame that it ended in time. I didn't like that. I would have wanted to see the game end. We both agreed with the point differential. It was looking like my game, but I would have liked to have seen that. I don't like it when games end because of time. So yeah, I did not like the stream took so much time from the beginning of our game. But that was my first round. My second top round was against Quentin, and so he's playing Web Warriors again, and I decide to go ahead and try my formula again, which is the Cable, Zemo, Steve combo. And in retrospect, that probably was the wrong thing to do with the scenarios and the situation. I probably should have just gone straight for all of my shooty stuff and seen how that goes, but I hadn't practiced it enough to feel good about it, and I thought that with Montesi formula, I could and priority, I could do that, and it just didn't work out. So he got away from me there at the end, and I had not enough stuff to affect the scenario, and so I lost round 2. And I thought that was the end of my tournament, and so I started playing Jake for the podcast with just a friendly game. And as I was we're getting ready to roll the first couple dice, somebody comes up and says, "Hey, you want to play for round 3?" And I was like, "Yeah," because currently I'm in 4th place, and I don't want to go 4th place to Aaron's 3rd place again for the second con that I get to break. So
that'd be a shame.
You don't want to let him Kenny you. That'd be gross.
Yeah, he keeps getting a trophy, and I keep walking away with not the trophy, and it makes me upset. So I was like, let's do it. And then Aaron proceeded to show me the error of my ways, that I should never attempt to do that. I should take my 4th place. Yeah, I should take I still got 4th, but I should take my 4th place humbly and walk away with gratitude. So I wish I could say it was a game. It was more of just a clinic of watching Hellfire walk away with the stuff. We talked earlier on the cast, will this list handle Hellfire? And I think we could say, when it's piloted by somebody well, no, it cannot handle Hellfire. It just doesn't. I have to basically have perfect dice, and while the my list is designed to have excellent dice, they weren't good enough. And so I was spending 4 attacks on some models that I really only needed 2 attacks against. It was close there for a while, and I held in, and I was rotating correctly, and I was looking for the outs. And so I don't think I gave it to Aaron, but I needed things to go my way with my offensive potential, and it didn't enough, leaving models on 2 and 1 a couple times and just not closing things out at key times. So it was a thin margin of error, but that thin margin, against Hellfire and Aaron specifically piloting it, it just ballooned into a really fun experience for me to learn what Hellfire needs, which is to live on 1. So, yeah.
Cool. I want to say congrats to the Kansas City guys. I think we ended up with 3 people in the top 8, so it's always fun to have our locals make cuts. So good job, guys.
I also want to shout out the Chicagoans. There were 3 Kansas City and 3 Chicago. So, yeah,
we're all Midwest people here. We're all Midwest.
Exactly.
People.
We're a team, right? A team.
Yeah.
Get all those fucking not Midwest people out of here.
That's right. It's fun to see.
Alrighty, so it's going to take us into Saturday. I believe it was. We were fending for ourselves on Friday night for food. I can't remember. No, we went to Lou Malnati's on Friday, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we went to Lou Malnati's. We had some good pizza, good times. And then coming into Saturday, we've got a bit of a change of the guard. So I was full-time in the Judgment Hall at this point. They were doing their 5s tournament. I was recording 3 tables. And I was hanging out. It was a good time. Aaron, what'd you do on Saturday?
Saturday, I played in the Judgment 5v5. Walked in, stole our lunch money, and left.
Oof.
God damn. Yikes.
All right. Jeremy, how was your Saturday?
I played in the fives as well. It wasn't quite as good by one game as Aaron's lunch money steal, but I got my licks in. I went 3-1 in that. It was a qualifier tournament for their deal, so got a handful of points and puts me in a pretty good position. So I'm happy. I did great for a judgment newbie.
Nice. Did you guys manage to avoid playing yourselves?
We did.
We did, yeah.
Oh, good job.
I did
was
play
pretty
Ryan
nice.
though. Poor guy.
I swear the MCP. It felt like just Adepticon in general, but MCP specifically, they were pairing people I knew together constantly. Considering how many people were there, it just surprised me. So that brings us to Parker. What did you do on Saturday?
So on Saturday, I got to do the Timelines event. I was really excited to do it. The inaugural Timelines event, everybody, some of the best players in the world were really feeling out the corners of the room in the dark, and it was fun to do that with everyone. It was a really exciting atmosphere. The climate was just great. It was by far the least sweaty moment I've ever seen. That collection of traveling gamers. We were all just kind of kicking our heels back and going I wonder what kind of cool stuff we could do. And so my first round was definitely that. I played against Jeremiah England, and it was just a raffle stomp. It was like a Harlem Globetrotters. He got to do everything he wanted to do. He brought Sinister with cloning vats, and he got off a 3-pointer. This Armin Zola, and it was just and one tricks, laying up to himself constantly. I never even had my car. Daredevil, I was playing Defenders that round because you have to play different lists every round, so I was playing my Defenders list, and Daredevil got to do one thing. Elektra rolled, I think, 8 attacks and never got a hit through. I think she rolled 1 or 2 hits and blocked every single one. So Elektra has earned my ire, even though she's apparently good according to Aaron. So I played her explicitly because Aaron promised me she was good, and she's bad. So that's my final rule on her. Aaron, I'm not shitting you. That's what I thought. I was like, I could use a 4-pointer. I guess I'll put her in here. Aaron says she's good. I'm sure I could do something. I've seen her played against me enough. I think I know what I should do with her. And I did get to roll 8 times. I did. She had opportunities, just used none of them. So she's in the doghouse.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you got me. So now I'm in Submarine Land because Timelines was strange. We knew we were going to play 6 rounds no matter what, regardless of how many people were undefeated. We were playing 6 rounds, so everybody could play their 3 lists twice. I knew submarining was totally possible, so let's keep playing. And it was just more of just leaning back and having fun. My second round was against Bobby, and this makes me so upset because his last name's not here. I played against his brother later in the tournament, but he was playing Wakanda.
Can you just look at his brother's name?
Let's see if I can find his brother.
I'm not certain how brothers work, but I don't have one.
See. Yes, there it is, Bane. So I played against Bobby Bane, the Bane brothers. I ended up playing them in round 2 and 3, and I have to talk about this round 2 game because when Elektra didn't show up and we thought she was, and I thought she was bad and she is bad. I thought Cyclops was bad, and then I saw what Cyclops does when Cyclops shows up, and Jeezy Pete's, he dazed and KO'd Black Panther 2, Okoye, and Killmonger 2. All by himself, just with shooting people back with his quick draw thing and zapping them. Now he got magic monster dice, and I will absolutely give it to Bobby. He just left. He got to sit here and watch Black Panther, not Black Panther, Cyclops just block 5 and block 3. I was buffing his dice with Cable and doing things to make sure it happened, but still, he got to watch Cyclops just stand there on the center point and just zap everything and quick draw everything. And
Cyclops has one of the highest ceilings because of his stupid mechanics. No, he's not a bad 4-pointer. I would say he's pushed, if anything.
Yeah. So it was really cool to see him. And even though the list was Cyclops and X-Force, I decided right then I would be playing X-Men the rest of the day. I was not going to play X-Force, and I was really excited to do that. So my third round was against Bobby's brother, and his name was Jim. Yeah. And No, wait. Am I looking at the right round? Round 3? Round 1, 2, 3. So something's wrong here. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was just looking at Jim's list. Jim was playing X-Men, and I was playing my Brotherhood, so I was looking at the wrong list. But I planned to play Brotherhood and played Mystique, and he was playing Professor X. He thought I was going to fight him in the middle because we got Fisk, and I decided just to go 5 wide, and he went 4 wide. And I was like, I'm just going to pick up all these points. We had cubes, and I picked up, I think, 3 cubes on turn 1 and scored 1 of the points. And he was just he was really on the back foot. Oh, sorry, I scored 4 because my Quicksilver actually managed to steal one of his cubes on turn 1. So it was a really quick game. The score was close because I couldn't constantly take those center points without dying, but I was able to keep rotating models in to get a Fisk, and I was able to take that one down. And then round 4 was probably my favorite game of the whole week because I was playing my defenders, and my defenders list, I have no faith in it, and so I'm like, I was playing against Ryan Farmer, and he and I went into that game with the best of like moods and intentions. We were having he wanted to play some models he had never played before, or not played a lot, so he was playing Web Warriors, but he put down new Captain Marvel just to see how that worked. He's like, this should work, I think. I really wanted to try it, and I was like, cool, I am going to try defenders, and I'm going to try some of this stuff. And so we were just playing a real chucklehead kind of game, having a great time going back and forth and thinking about how to play it. It was so close. He had a huge lead on the last round. He had 14, I had 10. It was like round 5, I think, and he made one mistake and forgot Heroes for Hire on Iron Fist, and that really just totally flipped the momentum of that last turn, and I scored out. I scored all 7 points on the board to win, which was a really great game. I don't think I've ever shook a hand harder than I shook his hand because we were both just had such a blast. So huge shout out to Ryan. That was my favorite game of the whole weekend, just because of how much fun we had going back and forth, and we were table talking and trying to look at different things for each other, and we were really playing hard to have fun.
Good.
My next round was against a fellow named Alex Turner, and he was awesome. I was playing my X-Men again, so I just windmill slammed Cyclops this time with Sentinel Prime, and everybody who was walking by was like, Sentinel Prime, yeah! And Alex was like, Sentinel Prime, that'll be fun. I go, yeah, it will be fun. And Sentinel Prime, he didn't make it fun for Alex. Alex, he was like, wow, Sentinel Prime is really strong on Cyclops. I go, yeah, it was fun. I got to live dreams again, just more Cyclops fun. That is why I'll be playing X-Men. Cyclops feels great. My round 6 was against, and I'm sorry, I don't have his first name written down, but his Swooper on Longshanks, and he was playing Shield, and I played my Brotherhood list, and it was another one of those that he expected me to fight him, and I went Mystique and took a lot of points, and so I got that, and I ended up 5-1, and I broke into day 2 again, which was super excited. I was so happy, and so much fun to break in again, and all the games I had on that day were just amazing. I couldn't say more about Timelines and how much I enjoyed that first day. It was so much fun.
So what I want to ask now is, because this is the first year for Timelines, what did you like about Timelines format? What did you dislike about Timelines format? And I'm not talking about your opponents. I'm specifically talking about like the format. I'm going to put you on a clock here because this has already been quite long. Good.
Sure. Timelines, the thing I loved about it was the Wild Wild West. It felt like, if you remember the way it felt, in your 5th or 6th game with your friends, and you were learning how to do things, you'd gotten the rules down, and so you weren't having questions about who goes first and second, but you were looking for interactions, and you were looking for cool things. You were trying every card because you're like, I don't know what this tactic card says. I haven't even tried it yet. So people were playing all kinds of things on purpose to just have fun. Sometimes they were trying it because they thought it was good and they thought it might work, and sometimes they tried it just because they thought it was there and they couldn't play anything else. And so I saw so many people play so many cards and characters that I have not seen on a competitive board in a long time. And everybody's attitude was that of exploration and excitement. So that was by far the most positive thing. As for negative things, I guess if there was one thing negative about it is that we didn't fill the tournament up. I think it does require a really big collection, and I think there were some people at Adepticon who didn't want to do it solely because their favorite affiliation wasn't there. I heard that once or twice. They're just like, I didn't want to do it because I couldn't play my Guardians of the Galaxy, and I love Guardians of the Galaxy. So the fact that it was restricted did mean that a portion of the player base just couldn't do it, or didn't want to do it because it wasn't their favorite part of the game. So I don't think anybody didn't do it because it wasn't as competitive, or they couldn't do their competitive thing. But I do think there was a giant section of the fan base, not represented. So you had to like to explore, and that's what really what the event was like.
Well, I don't think anybody had trouble coming up with 3 lists to play. I don't. Well, I guess this is a question on. Did you like how your lists were kind of selected for you every round?
Oh yeah, that was very freeing.
Like that?
Oh, I loved it, because if you would have made me do list chicken every round, I would have hated that. Back to War Machine days of I pick this, you pick this. We have a 50, we have a coin flip chance of ruin each other's day or tournament. I loved that. I heard it echoed in my mind, in my mouth, and then everywhere around me, which is, well, next round I got to play, defenders or whatever. And then, I heard that just everywhere everybody was going. And then what also it created was a really fun moments when your list that was your weakest, or the one you were least practiced with, surprised you. It felt awesome. It felt great. In the same way that when you discovered a new list in the game store, and you never played it before, and you realized it was excellent.
If that happened, you would be excited. But I don't know that happened for everyone.
I don't. But when you play 6 rounds, the chances are pretty high that you'll get one game that surprises you and you have fun doing it, either positive or negative. Like, I thought my defenders list was my strongest, and then that very first game, I was like, "Whoa, this is not no." This
well, talking about that specifically, you told me while we were there that you felt you didn't have an answer for, what was it, Ultron 2?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, do you think you would have had an answer if you got to pick a different list into Ultron 2? Like, do you think your defenders list was the best list you could have had into him?
Oh no, by far not. Like Ultron,
right?
Yeah.
So I would think that would be. I mean, obviously you had a good time at the event, which is great. But I would personally find that frustrating if I had brought tools to deal with a problem and then was not allowed to use the tools in the game that I had to play against the problem. I'd be annoyed.
Oh, well, I mean, I could have, if I really was nervous about Ultron 2 for all of my lists, I could have made that happen. I could have done something in Defenders to help me better manage Ultron 2. I just decided I didn't need to. Like, I wasn't going to cover every base with every list.
Right, because you can't. Like, right. That's not an option.
Yeah. And so yeah, one of my lists was least flexible or less flexible, and that was the Defenders list. And it just so happened, like I said, the second time I had to play Defenders, I played against somebody else who was, playing a list, and they wanted to do some things. And I don't know about the flexibility of his list. I can't comment on it because I didn't study the whole thing. But he thought, like, I think Carol is the best choice here, and it ended up not being the best choice. But that's what he tried, and that's what it was. It was a lot of attempting and trying and learning. I love every game where you learn something, and it feels really good.
Okay. Just going back to what you said earlier about list chicken. List chicken was an old situation that would happen very rarely, where 2 people basically have a collection of lists that you bring, because War Machine is what we're referencing. You would bring 2 lists to a tournament, and so let's say my list A is good into your list A, but my list B is bad into your list B. And so it's like, well, if he chooses A and I choose B, I lose. But if he chooses A and I choose A, I win. And then, like, it's just a circular meta thing that happens because you both have, like, good, well-rounded lists. And so it was actually pretty rare that you'd be in a state where a lot of people refer to as list chicken. There's almost always a better choice, but just so people understood what you meant.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's going to wrap up Saturday. We got to hang out with the Judgment guys in the Judgment area. Wonky and his brother were hanging out there. His brother had a keg for his army, I guess, display. So we drank most of a keg between like 6 people. That was pretty fun. Got to catch up with some people we knew from back in the day. And we went home and came back for Sunday. So Sunday tournament, I frantically rushed all of my cameras from the Judgment Hall into the Blood Bowl Hall and tried to set up record 3 games of Blood Bowl each round, which skin of my teeth we got going. But it was a good time. Got to hang out with some Blood Bowl dudes and watch some people lose Blood Bowl games. That was pretty sweet. Aaron, how was your Sunday?
I didn't realize it, but Sunday was very awesome because on Thursday, Ryan played Parker. On Friday, Ryan played Jeremy. And on Sunday, Ryan played me. So local, who we all know and love, Ryan Jarvis, got each of us on a different day.
Listener, if you're paying close attention, he was also the man that had to pay hundreds of dollars for our shared meal.
Sure, he also bought us dinner.
That man deserves angel wings. He just had to carry Infamous the entire weekend.
He also reserved the Airbnb that myself and Parker stayed at, which was
Yeah, I
pretty
love
funny.
that guy.
Like, so he paid for our room, paid for our food, and then also gave us all wins except for Aaron.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. I did this weird thing you can do in
call it.
Blood Bowl called tie.
That's so European.
Yeah. I went 1-1-1 in Blood Bowl, which is a little bit of a downer for me, but you can always have a bad day and dice be dice. So overall
Wow.
for the weekend, I went
Blame in the
11
dice.
wins, 1 tie, 1 loss. I cannot consider that anything other
Hold
than
on.
an exceeding expectations.
You went 1-1-1 in Blood Bowl. You're saying you lost 0 games for the rest of the weekend?
Oh, no, that'd be wrong.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
12-2-1. Yes.
There we go.
12-2-1.
Still reasonably acceptable. record.
Reasonably
I mean,
acceptable.
Could be better.
Yeah, ecstatic. How about?
I've never tied Ryan Jarvis in Blood Bowl, just saying.
Mhm.
I've also never beaten. All right. Jeremy, how was your Sunday?
Well, to complete my weekend, I
I think
played Fabius. No, I'm sorry, Wonky. In a game.
Wonky.
Yeah, we had to make sure to complete the podcast off.
Mhm.
So he's a cast member of The Summoned, which is a Judgment podcast. We played a game. It was really tight, and then it started getting. I kind of went after his main objective to kind of take it out. I stalled out a little bit at the end of it, and I was getting ready to do what I was thinking was winning. And then he paused and said, "You want to talk about this real quick? I want to show you something," essentially. And instead of winning by the skin of my teeth, he showed me how to use one of my models much better, and I completely destroyed him. So with that in mind, it was awesome to kind of get to chat about stuff a little bit. And like I've said from day one, most of these folks know how to play this game much better than me. I just happen to come from playing games for 30 years, so I can manage myself about a table. But yeah, we had a great game, but I won. That's what most important, obviously. But yeah, had a great Sunday. Went in vendor hall, saw some more people that I hadn't seen in a long time, and bought my kids a couple presents and wrapped it up.
Nice. I actually have a quick anecdote since we're moving away from Blood Bowl. I don't know if I've actually told Aaron this yet. I told Kenny. I have a game anecdote that happened over the weekend. So I was watching 2 gentlemen that I was recording play a game. That I didn't know either of these people, but they both seemed to be having a great time playing Blood Bowl. I want to say it was Tomb Kings versus Goblins? Or just orcs, generic orcs. But if anyone has played Blood Bowl, the cool thing that the Greenskin race gets is, and this is true of a couple other factions, I believe, as well, their trolls can pick up and throw goblins down the field. So there's this cool thing they call a one-turn touchdown, where you have one of your people pick up the ball, then they walk up to a goblin standing right next to your troll, they hand the goblin the ball, then the troll picks up the goblin and hurls it down the field, the majority of the way to the end zone. And then if the goblin lands on his feet and doesn't break his neck while being hurled 100 feet downfield, he can scurry his little butt into the end zone and get a single turn touchdown. Aaron, how many dice rolls is it?
It's like 6.
it's more than that, right? Because you gotta pick up the ball, you gotta catch the handoff, then you gotta make the stupid check on the troll. Then the troll has to not get hungry and eat the goblin. Then you have to make the throw roll. Then you have to deviate forward. And then you have to make the landing roll. And I believe it's still 2 go for it's after that. I think it's 9 rolls. It's at least 8. We'll just call it 8.
Okay, I'll give you that.
So it's a half dozen rolls, most of which are 3+. So like if anyone knows math, it's not super likely to happen, but it can happen. So they're going into the last round of the game. It's moving to the final turn 8 of the game. So the Tomb Kings player lines up as complete prevent defense and puts all of his guys, except for the people you have to have on the line, against the back end zone. He's just like, I'm just going to protect the 1-turn score. And so the guy's like, well, drove all the way here to Chicago to win games, so I'm going for the win. I'm not going to just beat up your guys. He's like, okay, that sounds great. Let's see what happens. See if you get it, because it'll take a lot of luck. So they roll the kickoff, and they get timeout. So basically the ref fucks up the game clock, and then he gains an extra turn of time. At which point the Khemri player's like, oh wait, I might lose this game now. Like, he's got 2 chances to get the 1-turn touchdown. Or just, play a normal game and run down the field and then score a touchdown. So he has a star player walk over and pick up the ball. He gets a perfect scatter, lands right next to the guy. Picks up the ball, walks over, hands it to the goblin. Goblin shitbeds the roll, and the ball bounces to the troll. The troll catches the ball, which is hilarious because he now has no mathematical way to get the ball to the end zone because the troll can't throw the ball. He can only throw people. And he's not good enough at handing the ball off to hand the ball to anybody because everyone around him is in a tackle zone. So they're all like being beat up by the enemy. And so troll just standing here looking at the ball like, what do I do with this? It's like, this isn't food. And he loses the game because the troll just stands there looking at the ball. I was like, that was hilarious. He was in pretty good spirits about it, so I gave him a little token, a little ball scatter token as a prize for having the worst ball scatter in the tournament.
That defines all of Blood Bowl. By the way,
that is how Blood Bowl works. Yeah, that is exactly how Blood Bowl works. It's like, well, blah, 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 blah. Math started to help me, and then, I got hit by a lightning bolt, so fuck this game. It's pretty great. All right, Parker. How was Sunday?
So on Sunday, the first Top Cut round, I got to play Brian Terwilliger. It was a really awesome game. It was the first time I was excited to play Brotherhood because on day 2 of timelines you have to switch order. So instead of playing 1, 2, 3, you play list 3, 2, 1. And so I was like, all right, here we go. Play Brotherhood, score a bunch of points like I've been doing, like I've been practicing. Here we go. And he played X-Force very well. He had lots of time on target that I did not want him to have. And every time he needed a target, he got it. So like he played Crimson Dynamo, and Crimson Dynamo like was rolling 5 dice hits and 4 dice hits and knocking down characters. His Cable 1-rounded my Juggernaut. Like he got all the dice he wanted, and so now I'm playing on the back foot. I managed to make the game as hard as I possibly could. It came down to my Black Cat was going to score me to 16, and he was going to score to 15 at the last moment of the game because I had stolen Cable's point. He had one model, his Deadpool, that could move once, do his little leg day, and do a spender. So basically he has to raw dog with 7 dice, no mods, no crits, and knock down a full health Black Cat because I've been protecting her the whole game for this moment. And he do it. He was like, man, this is going to be really hard, but we got to go for it. And so he did it. He dropped 7 dice. All of them were hits. Like crit, wild, hit. Like everything was a hit. Just dropped 7 dice, 7 hits. I blocked 1, didn't matter. It was I had to block 3 at that point to win, and I didn't. So that was his. It was a great, like, awesome last moment of a great game. I loved the timelines came down to that, just kind of like taking great risks and getting rewards to it. It didn't bother me at all. I made it as hard as I could with the game that I got, and we shook hands as friends. It was an awesome moment. And so that was the end of my games for the weekend. I was over the moon satisfied. 2 top 8s at some of the bigger events there. I was just pleased as punch that all the MCP I got to play, and yeah, I just got to walk around the tournament, got to watch you guys do some Blood Bowl, and then I got to go to the reveal. And so if I had kept winning, I would probably not be able to go to the reveal, which would have made me sad because I really enjoyed getting to do that once and checking that off the bucket list. So yeah, I had a really awesome end to my con, just kind of relaxing and feeling really proud of a job well done, games well played.
Cool. Alrighty. Well, that's going to wrap up the events at Adepticon. If we played against you and didn't mention you, we more than likely had a great time. Thanks for playing.
I can say there's one person who learned something from Adepticon, and that was actually my wife. And this was at the end of the Challenger event. she said, "Wait a minute. So the people you play with like all the time got like first and third, and you had to play them both." And I was like, yeah. She goes, so now I know why you're always so damn proud of yourself when you win a local tournament, because you're playing against the people who are like knocking down these national tournaments. I go, yeah, it is really hard to play in Kansas City. This is why I'm always so happy when I do well at a random Saturday tournament, because this meta is full of sharks and I love it.
Yeah. Kansas City and our gaming group did really well over the weekend in general. But yeah, I'm proud of all the guys. We take gaming pretty seriously in our area, so.
Do we want to talk about thoughts on the meta, Adepticon writ large?
I think we'll wait on that. What I want to do is resolve some bets real quick, and then probably get out of here.
Oh, the Muse guys started betting Parker's episodes as well. So Parker's gonna have to listen to them to.
Those are
to
counterfeit
add to his bet
episodes.
total.
Counterfeit episodes. They were Schrootbuck to Stanley Nickel conversion is not honored. All right, so let's get these out of here real quick. Parker bet 200 episodes that Wakanda would win Contest of Champions. Lie detector determined that to be false. Parker gains 200 episodes. Boom. Roasted. Jeremy bet 100 episodes that Webbs would win Timelines. Who did win Timelines? Was it Mike or is it Lucas?
Lucas.
Yeah.
Lucas? Did he have Webbs in his list? Can somebody check that, please?
I'm looking. I would have to look. Let's see. Try this.
He did have Webbs in one of his lists.
Yes, one of his lists. His semifinal round, he played Webbs and won.
Boom.
Okay.
Roasted.
So Parker loses 100 episodes. Good job.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
That was Jeremy placed that bet for you. So see, I'm just pointing out that you still haven't won a bet.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All right. Aaron bet that the winner of Timelines would have a name starting with the first 13 letters of the alphabet. Anyone who could do quick math knows that's a coin flip. And Lucas was the winner. Mike would have lost the bet, I believe. But he is correct. He wins. So Parker's going to lose 250 episodes.
Yeah, buddy.
Wow.
Thank you.
Look at this.
Thank you, friends.
Oh, sorry. Lose 200 episodes because it was a 250 to 200 bet. All right. So we're going to be at 35.90 is the new total. Got a couple more bets here. Aaron then bet that the Contest of Champions winner would have the first 13 letters of the alphabet in his last name. Oof, that's a miss. So we're going to add 250 episodes here.
Shit.
Which is going to be 3840. I bet Parker's episodes against myself, don't ask, that Brotherhood would win Timelines. Can we see if Lucas had Brotherhood?
He did.
He did. That's what he won with. Yes.
Damn it. All right, fine. 3640. And the final bet. That was like, I don't know, 30 or whatever to 1. That Parker was going to win Timelines.
Aww.
Bro, you got closer than I honestly thought you were going to get. That's nothing to be ashamed of. As soon as you lost the first game, I was cackling in the corner.
Yeah.
And then you started clawing your way back to make cuts, and I was like, you know what? I hope he makes it.
Yeah.
And then loses in the first round. And you did make it. And then I was like, you know what? I take it all back. I want him to win it all, because then it'll be Kansas City taking down yet another tournament.
Yeah.
And I was like, And then, of course, because I wanted you to win, we all know what happened.
That's what the mojo goes. Yep.
I know, right? That's the mojo. All right. So Parker's going to gain 500 episodes, which puts you to 4140.
Ugh, I don't like that 4 in the front, but I'll take it.
I don't like
Well,
that.
Parker, this is going to unfortunately close a what was probably hated by everyone segment of the podcast forever. We have gotten to 4,000 probationary episodes from what originally started as, I believe, 1. So, if anybody ever needs help turning $1 of debt into $4,140 of debt, I got a friend in need, and his name is Parker. Please don't degenerately gamble your life savings on stupid shit.
Yeah, don't do that.
We are putting this in the vault. We're gonna stop doing Parker episodes until he can live up to his promise and shave his head. It's not fair that you lie to people, Parker. You got to shave your head, or we're just going to endlessly be able to ridicule you whenever we want.
Okay. Oh, wait. That was on the table? Endless ridicule was something that could lose? That could
No.
stop happening?
You get endlessly ridiculed because you've got probationary episodes. When you get rid of them, we have to treat you with respect and dignity. Something I'm not actually that interested in. That's why I'm fine if you don't.
I'm not that interested
But-
in.
I'm not really that interested, I'm going to be honest. But right now, you owe me 4,140 hair follicles, and I can choose them, or you can just take them all. Those
Okay.
are the two options.
Okay, I hear you.
I'm choosing the landing strip right down the middle. And so, I don't know if you want to... We did the math. I think it's roughly 1 square inch is like 500 hair follicles on the high end. So, I'm going to get just a 10-inch strip of hair just right off the top. You're just
Cool.
going to shape your head anyway, so...
That's a cool
All right.
idea.
Yep. Alrighty. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for us today. Hopefully you guys had a good time hanging out with us at Adepticon, or at Adepticon yourself, or listening vicariously to us. This has been Brandon.
And Parker.
And Jeremy.
And Aaron.
And you've just listened to Parker Shaves His Head.
So what are we gonna call this thing?
I got it. Okay. Incredible, new, fantastic, astonishing, mighty, original, uncanny, sensational podcast.
I'm just gonna put down infamous.
We're back. Back from
Yeah.
Chicago. I don't know about you, but Chicago always misses me.
That's it called.
Man. I don't know why I ever do anything else except that tournament.
Go to Adepticon?
Yeah, Adepticon is just the best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's favorite con for sure.
Pizza. The pizza's always so good.
The number
We're
of
so
times,
hungry.
the pizza is also great. The number of times I've gone to Adepticon and like not played in a tournament and still had a fucking amazing time is like 4 or 5 times now, and so it's super great. Like, you can't go to another smaller convention and like have that same experience. Like, you can say hi to people and it's good to see them, but like you always wish you were playing.
Mhm.
Like Adepticon, I was so busy even not doing tournaments that I didn't regret not playing. And in fact, the one event I did play in, I almost regretted playing in it because I was so fucking busy while it was going on. I was sprinting from one hole to the other, trying to get cameras going and everything, and then running back to the team tournament where Kenny's looking at the board going, "What should we do?" I'm like, what's happening? I don't even know.
Yeah, I got home and slept on Monday for I don't know how many hours it was, but I woke up eventually at 3 p.m.
Mhm.
I just laid in bed. I'm like, you know what? I have nowhere to go, and it feels nice just laying here.
Yeah, probably would have been nice.
I actually just...
Go
ahead.
I was just gonna say I meant to sleep in today, and then I just couldn't. I had to get up. My mind was running.
I woke up and did work the next morning, like did the full day of school, and totally felt fine, like no problems whatsoever. Then for some reason, like the next day, like yesterday, Tuesday, I gave out at like 3 o'clock, and I came home and my body was just like, go to bed. I was like, no. I mean, I'll be fine. It just didn't work. Like I just
Not fine.
like my everything just gave out. Like every system was shutting down. It was like I was having some sort of like flu almost. I was like, this is weird, and I eventually just had to drop down, and I did. But yeah, it was brutal the second day, which was weird.
I think you're sick 2 days out of every week. I think you need to go to the hospital.
I don't know why he's ever left the hospital.
I was
needs one of those
amazed
bubbles.
that nothing. I was amazed that nothing happened while we were there. It blew me away that I was able to like maintain the entire time I was there, and I never got sick of anything.
Yeah,
That
just
was
be a person. That's
Yeah.
such
Just
a
be
stretch for
normal.
you.
yeah. I never get to do that. It was awesome. That's
Maybe you
the
have
power of
allergies
Adepticon.
of your family.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or your house
That's
is
the
on an Indian
magic.
burial ground.
No,
Okay.
I checked.
Yeah, and they have
I
a small
checked.
garden. It's where they get all their food. It's just from the Indian burial ground
Yep.
garden.
After all the tests, all the medical tests came back negative, I decided to check, and no, we're good.
Yeah. You got some like serious sewer runoff in your backyard or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never seen a person decompose while they're still alive before. All right. So I think the plan for today is just basically our Adepticon recaps, fun stories from the weekend, and things we did that were fun.
hmm I wanted to know from you guys, because I played so many games, what kind of detail are we excited about this time?
What do you mean?
Normally we'll talk about each game, like each match. That's something we'll do after a tournament. But I have
Not
played.
usually, but yeah.
Do you want me to just do like some highlights or like a really fast?
We're looking for anecdotes. So
Okay.
if nothing important happened during a game, I would not expect you to bring it up. There'd be way too much content.
Okay.
More talking about like an event.
Okay. I didn't collect anecdotes. I just kind of collected all my games. So I'll see what I can do about that.
Okay.
My opponent showed up. We rolled for initiative. I dominated like the dog he is. And I walked away a victor. Was there in the middle? Stuff, things.
I try to create like a 1-sentence summary of each one.
You've never
So I-
created a 1-sentence summary of anything in
tried.
your entire life.
Parker couldn't summarize that like the color red in a sentence. like I don't even know what we're talking about.
I did it. I knew I was going to have to do it, so I tried it. I literally did it, but I can keep it.
Wait. Are you using that stupid bullshit that you, me, and Jim were talking about, where it's like just use colons instead of commas?
Oh, God.
You can just keep going. So it's
No.
one sentence technically.
No, I didn't do that.
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a stopwatch on my end.
Mhm.
If you go over 30 seconds, I'm
Episodes.
just kicking you from the call.
Just
No,
kicking
just
him.
kick straight. Just kick. Yeah, he's out of the channel. Oh boy!
I will attempt brevity, and we'll see how it goes.
For the first time,
hmm
We
Live.
got it.
First time for everything.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into it because I'm sure we've got some stuff to talk about. Oh my god, we have so much on our notes. All right, here we go. We did it, guys. We made it.
Thought it was going to
Ooh,
be
yeah.
Ryan saves the day.
Ryan saves the day. Why is Ryan save the day?
Because he was there for us the whole time. He's the hero we needed.
I mean, I like Ryan. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the Mojo. All right, I didn't actually check the order we're going to do these in. Conveniently, I deleted everybody's responses. So, all right, let's see here. Jeremy's definitely going last. Oh, damn it. Misclick.
Aaron and I tied.
True, did.
Unless somebody
Like-
doctored the numbers, which I
Like-
never even cared to know. I just
Likely story,
trust
Captain Baldy.
I just trust the poll. Is
Uh-huh. Well, little does everybody know that people aren't actually voting on these, and I just have a bunch of ghost accounts that have access to that channel.
Yeah.
And so nobody's actually been voting, it's just been me. But what a narrative I've been driving. It's like a soap opera. Alrighty. So Mojoverse this week is going to be Super NES games. Wait, no, regular NES games, right?
Yep, regular.
The Super Nintendo is the
No.
Super NES.
Yeah, it's way
That's
out
a
of
different category.
that's a full generation beyond what we're talking about today.
Alright, so we're talking about the Nintendo Entertainment System games. So these are games for the NES. I'm going to start. Oh boy. I think you have to go with the classic. But I think it's a little boring, so I'm going to go with Duck Hunt. Everybody likes Duck Hunt.
Kind of changed shit around,
Right.
didn't it?
Yeah,
That's a
no,
good
it's like a whole new world when Duck Hunt came out. You're like, wait, I can scream and point? Like, let's do it. All right. Aaron, you're up next.
We are going to do Tecmo Superbowl.
Damn you.
Get
you some Bo Jackson up in there.
Hells to the yeah.
It was
You
Barry
like break
Sanders.
Bo
man.
free and you're gone.
I actually played. I didn't know about the Bo Jackson thing when I played. I always did Walter Payton, who was another one who was fairly busted. Not as busted as Bo, but
I believe Christian Okoye was also pretty good, but again, not up to Bo Jackson levels.
Yeah.
Bo Jackson was just completely busted.
I
Yeah.
played a lot of Chiefs with the Okoye Ward combo.
Hmm.
That was pretty cool. Derek Ward, I think. Anyway, yeah.
Alrighty.
Good choice.
Parker, you're up.
I'm going to go for my first favorite, Excite Bike.
Oh, so good.
I loved me some Excite Bike. Tapping that A as fast as I could to run back to that bicycle after I wrecked it. That was
Yep.
you hold the controller sideways so you could tap faster. That was
Yep.
that's the thing, man. Excite Bike.
Alrighty. Jeremy, you got 2 for us?
I do, and I'm sorry, you guys are fucking done. Super Mario 3 and Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Okay,
Like-
that's the one that does it right there. I'm
You
with
got
you.
me punch. You got my punch out.
Yeah.
Super Mario, you can have, but you got my punch out. Ugh.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I know a lot of people rate 3 highly, but I never had fun in 3, but I was probably too young. So Parker, you got your next one.
I'm gonna go with darn it, you got mine. I'm gonna go with Double Dragon 2. Love me some Double Dragon, some street fighting. That was fun.
Did you guys ever see the horrific movie they put out?
Yeah,
It's so bad.
I did.
That movie was painful to watch.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Aaron, your second pick.
It's got to be Contra.
Contra.
God damn it, that was next. I was going to seal the deal with that one.
No. You
Yeah.
got Tyson's from. You're not getting Contra too.
Mhm.
Alright, well, get ready to lose all your good picks. Battletoads.
Yeah, that was on my list.
And then I'm going to go with Super Mario, the original.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron, final pick.
I think I'm gonna have to throw it. I beat Jeremy enough in real life. He can have this fake win.
He needs it, honestly.
He does.
I've looked into his eyes lately. There's not much left in there.
No, so I'm gonna pass on Castlevania and Mega Man, and will
Don't tell him he
instead
didn't know.
take North and South, which is a
Okay,
game I'm willing to bet the 3 of you had never played.
Yeah, I definitely have not. All right, Parker.
I'm going to take the last game that I ever loved on the NES, and that is Metal Storm.
Ooh.
Metal Storm also introduced me to the concept of mecha. Never saw mecha before until I played Metal Storm, and I was like, "This is the coolest thing ever."
All right. Cool. Jeremy's final pick.
There's so many good ones.
Yeah.
First off, Mega Man. Here's what I want to tell you. Mega Man is one of the hardest fucking games ever. Until you've played Ice World and threw a controller through a TV, you haven't lived. Okay. But I'm gonna pick one of my favorites where I had to actually call Nintendo hotline many
You're
times.
like, how?
Many times.
How?
The Legend of Zelda 2. That fucking game is so amazing for its time. Love that game.
Alrighty. Honorable mentions. I've got one that anytime we put it in, we had a good time, but it was never fair. One person always blew the other person out. It was always incredibly one-sided. Was Blades of Steel.
Oh,
You guys ever played Blades of Steel?
Oh,
my
so
God.
good.
That game would start so many fights because it was so random based
You
on
get
like
the
who
fat
got
guy skating, crushing people.
Yeah, but it was
Oh,
mostly
yeah.
like you would pass to a teammate and like they would just like veer left instead of receiving the pass, and so you'd pass it to the other team. And you're like, you stupid, and you just like throw shit like you fucking piece of shit. Yeah, like getting your teammates to actually help you. It was like whoever got the better teammates would just wins. But it was super fun. We played a lot of that.
Yeah, we're gonna get hate mail on this whole subject. There's so
yeah.
many of these we've missed.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
sure.
no. We knocked the most out of the park.
Yeah, we actually got a lot of the big ones. I think the only one you could argue we missed was Castlevania, but we talked.
Hey,
I'm gonna call it
I gave it a
Castlevania
mention.
2.
I ever got to play it, so like it's not one that I can.
We
pick.
also missed. I really wanted to say Ninja Gaiden 2, but
That game sucks.
Oh,
I
Ninja
love me
Gaiden.
some Ninja
Oh,
Gaiden.
that was a good one.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
yeah, we missed Ninja Gaiden, but hey. Another one was the Or Die series. I played Ski or Die, but there's a bunch of other
The
like,
Skater Die. I spent a lot of
random
time with that one.
Yeah,
Vote or
yeah,
Die.
Skater.
Anyway, I would like to give a shout out to a lesser known game, but a game that everyone has played. Literally everybody has played, and that is Battletoads PvP, which is just Battletoads with a second player. But you could not turn off friendly fire, and so every single match we've ever played was like you get those big like robot legs, and you just like accidentally tag somebody with it, and it just became deathmatch instantly. It's like you fucking hit me. We would just kill each other, and so sometimes we would boot up Battletoads just to fight each other. It was so mean.
Final
Did anybody say
Fantasy.
Teenage? Oh yeah, Final
TMNT?
Fantasy. Did anybody say TMNT?
No,
they did
Ninja
not.
Turtles games.
the
Ninja Turtle
arcade
games
one
are
was
pretty
good.
too.
I think I was too young to really enjoy that one, but it was
Jump,
good.
jump, kick, jump, kick, jump, kick. You just jumped and kicked all the time, but it was fun.
We could never figure out what we were supposed to be doing. We were just kind of wandering around. It was like
Track
we
and
felt
field.
like we didn't know what was going on. Yeah.
Track and field was amazing. That was a rocking one where you had to rock the controller so bad, like you'd have these giant blisters from trying to fucking throw the javelin. Like,
Ooh, what was it? Was it Top Gun? Was the one
Oh,
where you had
Top
to land
Gun!
the plane on the
So
aircraft carrier?
good.
We couldn't figure it
we
out.
all learned
It
how
was
to.
like
we
I don't know
land
how
jets.
they send us out on these missions because we just die every time on the way we can't land the fucking plane.
You just splash in the ocean every time. You're like, are you serious?
Mm-hmm. It's like because you have to do the whole mission to try it, right? And then you get to the end, and it's like, okay, this time I'm going to hold down. And you hold down all the way and nothing happens. It doesn't give you instructions. It's just like land the plane and it just jumps in screen and you're like up, crash. And you're like, okay, well, next mission. You're like down, crash. You're like, I don't know what I'm like. Crash. Like,
Oh no!
nothing is changing. Like I'm doing this different things every time. Nothing's happening.
I can't believe I forgot I think maybe my favorite game. Oh, it makes me so upset. I forgot about Top Gun.
Yeah.
Top Gun. There was an NES Top Gun. Oh,
I literally just described that.
I know. Oh my gosh.
Marble
Remember trying
Madness.
to land was so freaking hard.
Did you guys ever play the 7-Up game? I don't know what it was from. I think it was like an advertisement game, but we played a shit ton of that. It's basically
Yeah,
just
there-
you're playing a mini version of Go, where you like
Uh-huh.
flip over different tiles, but you had like 7-Up frogs that were like spokesmen for 7-Up, and it was like an advertisement, like a little mini game back when they had those.
Can I change my Double Dragon to Top Gun? I'm a bad person if I don't do that. I'm bad.
Fine.
Thank you.
How do you? Only if you can tell me how you land the plane.
It's not possible. I lost every time.
It's not possible.
All right, it's not possible. I remember okay. I won't say that part of the story, but I'll tell you guys after we get off.
Okay.
But I asked somebody, the person who owned the game that I was playing with, that, hey, how do you land the plane? He's like, oh, it's really, really hard. You need a joystick to do it. And I'm like, oh, well, do you have the joystick? He's like, yeah, it's over there. like, can we use it so we don't die every mission? And he's like, I don't want to plug it in. I was like, oh, okay, whatever.
Thanks.
I was like, so he claims he knew, but I never got to see it happen. Anyway, that's it. Alrighty. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this week. Anybody have anything they want to talk about before we get out of here?
No, sir.
Alrighty. Keep on gaming. Goodbye.
Bye.
So long.